All right. Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. I was just inside the bank branch asking permission to ask some questions of what's going on inside of JP Morgan Chase. This is part of, I went to a bank down in another part of the city today. I needed to access some cash and I wasn't able to because of this massive, I want to call it a hack, but they're saying it's not, right? This IT situation all around the world. And so I went in, I asked for permission if I could interview them, and the branch manager wasn't around. And so I didn't want to stress out any of the employees, so I'm like, hey, no problem, I'm going to start the live stream right outside. But here's the thing. So this is what's going on. This morning I went about an hour and a half ago, I wanted to go buy something from the internet. I'll let you guys decide what I was trying to buy. Put it down in the comments. I was trying to buy something used, and I needed cash, right? Get some people out of the shot here. And my point being is that I needed some money. I went down there and they said all teller services were closed, that we had no access to the money that I had in my bank account, right? Now, it's an interesting story here. So I needed the money and it was more than the daily withdrawal limit on my ATM card, my debit card. And they said, we're sorry. And I'm like, I know it's not their problem. I've not had any bad problems with Chase Bank, right? But 2 years ago, I started warning people on this channel why it's important to have multiple banks, right? We still need banks. You can't, when you say unbank yourself and you're preparing for this economic collapse and we're watching laws like bail-in laws. If you don't know what those are, we'll talk about them in a second or Google them. We're preparing for things and we're already seeing banks fail in America. And then we have something like this today. Well, today, if I really, really needed to go buy what I wanted to buy, I could have went in and withdrawn a certain amount of money out of my ATM, whatever it is, $300, $400, whatever the limit is. I could have went to another bank, to another different bank that I have. I could have gotten money out of there, right? Now, like I said, as of right now with this breach, they still have their ATMs open. They still have bankers doing things. You can open up accounts, close accounts. You could do whatever you want there. But their tellers are there. And it's funny, a lady just walked in. Seemed like a nice lady. Businesswoman walks in with some documents and she's greeted by one of the bank employees and she goes, is there anything I could do for you? Because you could see the employees, the tellers were out in the lobby trying to answer questions of people that are frustrated. And she got a little frustrated, right? She goes, I need money right now for my business. I need cash denominations for her business, whatever business she runs, right? And she was starting to get frustrated. She goes, what, are you telling me that I can't get cash for my business right now? And I interrupted and I said, ma'am, this is happening worldwide. She goes, oh, the IT thing. And I, yeah, it's happening worldwide. But it's a great example of why we need to be getting prepared. Now let's talk about bank bail-ins. Around 2013 to 2015, I don't remember the exact date, banks started adopting this new rule. And after the 2008 banking crisis, they created this rule called bank bail-ins. And what happens is in the future, when the banking crash gets so bad, and we already witnessed in 2023, a banking collapse in America that was actually the same size of all of 2008 combined. And the only reason why you aren't in a deep recession is because the government came out and bailed out, not the banks, not the shareholders, but the depositors. They even made announcements like, hey, this is so bad that the FDIC has run out of money, completely insolvent. It didn't even happen like that way back when, in 2008. They made other statements like, and they forced banks to, like JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and other companies, large banks, to cause them to have to pay more for insurance, for FDIC, for your deposits, for my deposits, right? So on a scale, we are already experiencing a banking crash that's bigger than 2008, but you don't see it in the news, right? Well, there's this law now set up, this bail-in rule, that when it finally comes to where the bank crash is so bad that the government physically cannot bail out or hide this any longer, and trust me, the way I look at it, this is going to happen in the next term for the next presidency. They are going to simply cut the cord and say, we can't bail you in or bail you out anymore. You're going to have to go and get a bail-in. And what the banks are going to do is they're going to have the legal right to go into your account and everyone's account equally on a percentage basis and take enough money out to restabilize the bank. And I'm sure just like in Greece and in Cyprus, they're going to hand you worthless bank shares. But that's how it's going to work. And not every single bank is going to have to do this. Trust me. Think about it this way. Why would a bank like, or I'll give you an example. In 2008, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, certain large banks, they weren't affected by the 2008 financial crisis. However, they were forced, some were forced, like Wells Fargo, to take on other banks, which they didn't want to do. They were forced to do it because everyone had to, the Federal Reserve was forcing banks to do this. But some of them also eagerly jumped to the situation or the opportunity to buy up bank assets for pennies on the dollar, right? Well, it's going to be different this time. However, sometimes it won't. JP Morgan is not in the business of going out of business. They're not in the business of taking your money out of your accounts. If they did, think about what would happen to all the depositors. People would flee, right? This is not going to be in every bank situation. That's why I say it's good to have lots of different types of banks, depending on how much your net worth is, how much money you have in the bank. The difference between a large bank that could go international or a large national bank for business, medium-sized banks, regional banks, small town banks, and credit unions, all right? However, credit unions are going to be in the exact same situation. Credit unions right now are so leveraged to auto loans and HELOCs, you're going to see some pretty impressive things happen over there. Whereas regional banks right now are so leveraged to commercial mortgage-backed securities, they're collapsing as well. So right now is an excellent time to talk about this breach, where in one day, some problem in the internet can take out industries, banking, airlines. There's so much auto dealerships. There's so much going on right now worldwide. Why wouldn't you have a certain amount of emergency funds, cash, in a safe place, hidden away, just for emergency? Hey, I got to go out into the grocery store. If their system runs down, and I'll give you an example. I also tried to pay with a couple of different cash payment, internet payment apps today for what I wanted to buy on the internet. And we were having problems attaching a credit card to one. We were having all kinds of issues. And we don't know how much bigger this is going to get. It's funny, the person I was buying something from today, a very successful young man, an entrepreneur, he has all kinds of different investments. When I was asking him questions, I ask people tons of questions when I meet them, what they do for a living, what kind of, I just do. That's just me. Very successful person. Well, when he knew about this data breach or this hack or whatever we call it right now, and he goes, wow, I didn't realize it was so big. I'm like, this could be like the day COVID started. I'm not saying it is, but I'm like, and I'm trying to explain to you what COVID is. But think about it from an electronics or an internet standpoint, right? An IT security standpoint. Point being is that we don't know what's happening, what data is being lost. And that's another thing right now. I'm just curious, type 1 that you think this is very interesting timing, that this hack is happening at the same time the assassination attempt was going on. There's diving into what happened with the Secret Service. There are servers out there right now that have data from people's cell phones of video recording showing people doing illegal activities. And all of this is happening right now worldwide. It's really interesting to me. I wonder when the dust settles next week if we find that systems were attacked and hacked and stolen trying to access data. Because this is akin to what happened after January 6th when all those messages were being deleted by the Secret Service and some three-letter agencies. And to me, and I feel a responsibility, which I'm sure all of you do too, at a certain point. And how cool is it? This is amazing. As the shots rang out during that assassination attempt, did you notice nobody ran? Some people looked bad, but immediately people were looking for where the shots, and as soon as they found the shooter, they all started pointing and yelling. True bravery, true amazing human beings. And you know what's funny? Let me ask you this. Type 2, if you understand that, agree with it, and you feel like you are that person and you are ready for this day. You are ready for a day like this. To some, I could be a nobody. To some, you're a nobody, right? We all have people in our lives that think down of us. But it all comes down to what you think of yourself. And how I see myself is how we act in public and the responsibility that we take on. And I'm going to tell you what, I take on some responsibility to spread the news and make people successful, guide them in a path of knowledge and understanding so that they can make good decisions. I've had a lot of failures in my life. I've had a lot of good things happen in my life. And I want to share both of those to teach people. That's the responsibility I take on. I know it's a lot of people say, it's a dumb YouTuber, but you know what? I love this. I love showing people success. All right, with that being said, I thank you so much for watching. There's 4 days left of the Investor Mortgage Pro. If you want to get ready for this epic meltdown in real estate because of things like what's happening today, where systems aren't working, banks are freaking out, governments don't know what to do, it's going to get a lot better. If you want to be ready for that, let me know. Links down below. It'll never be that price again once filming's done, and we expect filming to be done, and it'll be done in 4 days. All right, that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.